What's good, guys? It's your boy Lubenki. I'm back here, and this is the Cable House. So today is 18th of um today is 18th 2025, and I took a trade here yesterday, and when before the let me see the news again. Before this FOMC news came out, I closed my trade somewhere here. Let me just mark it out. I closed the positions I was holding somewhere at this zone here, somewhere at this area here. So when I closed my trade, when the news came up, the news slashed to the upside, get to my TP was where I was looking at to take my profit, and then the after the price gets there, we saw these massive rejections. This massive rejection. Now, why did I close my trade? I was looking at it like, okay, this is kind of a double top that is getting ready for price to drop, because this zone, it's a strong zone where I mark it out from the daily time frame. I mark that zone out from the daily time frame. This is it here. Why did I mark it out? Because this is a valid zone here. So you can see how this candle is on the daily time frame. Let me zoom out again. You can see the massive rejection on the daily time frame. Now, based on what is currently going on, based on what has been going on now, like since the FOMC news came up, this week I was looking at we'll get more of buys this week on cable, but due to what I'm currently seeing now on the chart, what I will have to do, I will have to do my top-down analysis back again, because the way I analyze my chart, I start from the weekly time frame. Now, this is a valid zone. I would have marked it out from here. But I don't want to. That was why I moved it to here instead. So it's still kind of the same thing. I just left it there. So I marked this is a valid zone, and this was the high. This was the recent high on cable. So, and also this one zone I mark it out, but price is not even approaching there for now. Based on, you can look at the weekly candle, it's kind of rejecting. And for what I was looking at, based on what I was seeing on the chart, I was looking at, okay, this week price would push up to this zone before we kind of see a drop before we still continue the bull run. But for now, based on what is currently going on now, like this, based on the rejection, and we can see the rejection for the yesterday candle. Let me just take this buy stuff out. Based on this rejection now, I'm looking at it that, okay, price will still drop, because I was my bias this week was buy bias, buy on cable. But based on what is currently going on now, I I won't just put it that okay, yes, it must be a buy again. I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it that way again. So based on what I'm looking at okay, this will still drop. This will still drop. And what I'll be waiting for, if price break out this zone here, this blue line I marked out here, if price break out the zone here, price just break out this zone and come back to retest it, I will go for more shorts. But if price still push up a bit, come close to half of this candle here, even if price still move up again a bit, I will still go for shorts based on what I'm seeing now on the chart, because the chart is telling me that okay, let me take it back. The weekly is not telling me that much. The weekly is just there, but you can see the massive rejection on the weekly candle. And also, and today is Thursday 18th of September 2025. So weekly is not telling me that much. Weekly is just showing me that okay, yeah, there's a rejection, it's just rejecting. So weekly is not telling me that much. And daily, for what I'm looking at here on daily is telling me that okay, it's possible for price to likely to still drop, but I might not pass this zone. I might just get here, range for some time before I keep moving up. That is what daily is telling me. Daily is just showing me that okay, there's a possibility for price to get here, either form a W, which is double bottom, and we expect the long to continue. So that's what daily is kind of telling me. And H4 is telling me that okay, price would likely to still drop, but price might get somewhere here. Let me just put it in the box. Let me just put this box here. Okay, this is valid. So H4 is kind of telling me that okay, price might still likely to drop from here to this zone here where I mark it out. And if you look at how many pips from there to here, it's about 100 pips from this zone here to this position where I mark it out now. It's 100 pips. So that's not a small move, that's a big push. So that is daily is telling me okay, we might still get some like a retracement, but it will likely to retest at this zone before we expect the long again. But H4 is kind of telling me that price would still likely to drop to this zone. Price will likely to break off this zone. Like price will likely to drop, break here, come here before we expect a push, like real push with force, and H1 is now H1 is just there. You know, H1 is where I execute my trade, but H1 is just there. If I'm about to take a trade now like this, H1 is not showing me something that much serious now on the chart, but what I'll be looking at, I might likely, let me see before the London opening, if I see price likely to push, and let me say price likely to push up a bit again. Okay, let me just leave it here. If I see price likely to push up a bit to here, I might go for shorts. And I'll be looking at it like something like this. But based on what I will see, I'm not saying I'll go for shorts. I'm not saying that because the trend now it's bullish, and if I want to go for short, my TP will be 70 pips. My SL will be 30 pips, TP 70 pips, and I'll be looking at it to so that is what I'll be looking at. And H4 is still cool. H4 is telling me that okay, if I place this trade, there's the chances for this trade to go my way, it's there, the possibility is there. That's what H4 is still also telling me, that okay, yeah, the possibility is there. So let me take this out. Let me just use this. That box is kind of, I don't like my chart to full, like things to full on my chart. So so what I'm looking at is that okay, price likely to get to this zone here where I just mark out now, I will likely to short. I say likely based on based on what price will print, then I react. So let me just refresh this to see if there is a news today. Today there will be news on GU by 12 p.m. today. So but if I still see, if price still gets to this zone here where I just marked out, I will go for short. And I'll be holding it to this zone here. I'll be holding it till price gets to my TP, because when price gets here, price will not just break here, it will kind of reject a bit before we see the break to the downside, but I'll hold it for price to get to my TP. So that's just what I'm currently looking at on Cable. And I know I was expecting more of buys this week on Cable, but based on what it's printing currently now, so I'm not looking for that buys anymore. I will have to wait to go for these shorts. Then if price gets here and I see a crazy bullish candle to confirm the buys that okay, buyers has entered the market again, then I will now switch my buyers to buy. But for now, that buy I was looking at, that buy, I just have to hold it. I just have to hold on for that buy. I'm not going for a buy till, except anything that will make me go for a buy, except price move up, break out the zone, come back here to retest it, then I will go for buy to catch this continuation of the bull run. Yeah, but for now I'm not going for buy. I'm looking at to short on cable. So that's just it. I know this analysis is long here, but that's just it. And remember, it's your boy Lubenki, and this is the Cable House. Bye for now, guys. Peace out.